Hello and welcome to Noobs RS DisadVantage Series Race 1. We
Oh, you
see
watching Tony?
Tony come over the curb. My name is Shane Subi Dodger. I'm joined in the booth tonight by Jeremy Cubbage.
Yep, hello.
This is race 1 of a 3-race series for our DisadVantage V12 series.
It's kind of randomized. This series is so. Um, the drivers don't know what track they're going to be on. They don't know what time of day. They don't know the weather, any of that, until the drivers briefing. So they're practicing all week, not knowing anything other than that they're driving the V12s.
We found out
No,
that we're doing Silverstone 15 minutes, 10 minutes ago, maybe.
Yep, correct. And I had to quickly pull up the weather. I had to make sure that the weather was proper for what it's supposed to be. It's partly cloudy, about 20 something degrees Celsius. So we are going to see drivers go out, set up their cars during qualification, and then race. So,
And these drivers are only getting one set of tires.
yeah,
So
correct.
we've seen a couple people in practice. I'm not sure if it quite hit home that these drivers are only going to have one set for practice, qual, and racing. We've seen some people doing some donuts in the pits. We've seen people getting pretty sideways on the track. So it'll be. I'm super excited to see how people react to the tire degradation over the course of the race.
Yeah, I'm excited to see as well. Just watching Nico out on track right now as he's leading our pack out. He's getting slippy and slidey, meaning that his car is definitely not set up for this track. So he's going to have to quickly do any adjustments that he can during qualifying. He may just do one lap and call it a day. I don't know, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, we've had our setup workshops previously, so the drivers that have gone to some of those workshops or some of our more experienced drivers, they may have a little bit more insight onto what they need to change on the car right away. I was driving it yesterday on our Nord server just for the giggles, and if you don't have the caster and your force feedback turned way down on these cars, you're going to get a workout tonight in this race. The force feedback was insane.
Unfortunately, I have a mouthful of food, so I'm going to hand it off to you again for just a moment.
No worries. I have an R16 and 2 laps off of the Nords, and I was getting a workout. I was sweating just a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see. There's definitely going to be a little bit of strategy for some of these drivers. If the drivers don't pit, we still see a couple. Maybe these guys are still getting set up, but we still see a couple drivers in the pits. If for some reason they don't throw down a qualifying lap, they will start from the pit. There's also a full out lap to get the race started here as well. So let's
Shane,
go.
if you can,
Yes.
if you have enough bandwidth, can you stream your screen, what you're seeing?
Oh yeah.
A preview or the projector preview or anything like that. That way I can see what you're looking at too.
How's that?
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I will be able to see what you're seeing while I'm watching other things as well.
Yeah.
With that said, it looks like we got everybody out on track. Nobody's done a lap yet. So, one person in the pits, I think it's Mike Burkhoff, kind of just chilling. I think Nico Menendez was leading the pack, and he's coming around the final sector now, down Wellington Straight. So, we'll have to see how he does.
I have a couple drivers bunched up here in qualifying, and if they're, they get caught up on each other, you see how close they are. Joe Allenson there and his V12. It's even some potential passing going on during qual.
Joe Allenson is in the pits.
Oh, whose car car am I
Nico
looking
Menendez crossing the start finish line now. Puts on a 203.972. So he's pulling off to the side. I believe that is going to be his qualifier. I heard some discussion about that. So people may just say that's enough for me and go into the pits and adjust their cards as necessary. Look, Adam's pulling off as well. CW Wells looks like he may do another lap. Nope, nope. Yeah, no, he might do another lap. So
Oh,
might see some from
whoops.
him. Austin Gerber as well. Nope, Wells is pulling over. Gerber's pulling over. Drew has pulled over. It looks like nearly everybody is pulling over at this point. We'll see if Tony Danzig ends up being the only one out there continuing to qualify. Kanye said Tony's going to be on rims by the halfway point. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see. There he goes. He's crossed the line now. He's not done a valid lap. So
Woods with this livery on the V12. I was curious if he's coming to a stop as well. I was curious if we were going to see any liveries for the V12s tonight. That's cool to see.
got one or two, I think. So Kevin Anthony. Yeah, most of the drivers are pulling over. Anthony Victor Chappelle is still out there. He's done a 204.8. Tony Danzig is still driving. He needs to do a lap.
Two Rye with the pole position right now at a 203.5.
Yeah, definitely fairly quick for what we've seen tonight in practice, because we haven't seen a single lap in practice. I mean, we did a little bit, but it doesn't even really count. So
yeah. Casey pulling off. Looks like a lot of these drivers are kind of adopting the same same strat. Kind of put down a lap, get back into the pits, maybe mess with some setups a little bit.
Yep.
Red de Guzman
got some
back.
blinking from a driver. It looked like, I don't know who that was.
873. We still see this pack.
Yeah, 3 drivers here.
3 drivers, and if
a little bit of bump going on from, it looks like Tony Danzig on Anthony Chappelle.
Oh, and the spin.
There's a slip and a slide. Tony Danzig backwards into the pits he goes. Has not done a qualifying lap.
See what happened here. It always happens when you look away for a second. See, he just got a little bit of loose on that corner there, and that could be, we may start seeing that disadvantage kicking in early for Tony Danzig.
Yeah, he's going back out again.
Yep.
By the end of the race, he may not have tires at all. Speaking of Tony Danzig, I was going to just say if he would be good to go if he didn't want to do anymore, that'd be okay. Anthony Chappelle just did the fastest lap, though, with a 202.810. So
very nice. Yeah, we saw
Tony
him.
Was on track for doing that, too.
He was one of the drivers that we saw out early in practice, putting down some laps. Car was that?
Oh, I don't remember how to say car number 42. I don't remember how to say his name. We were given the how-to, and I don't remember the how-to. He's in second place, though, 203.242. Tarley? I think it's Tarley or something like that.
It's always nice in a new series. Race 1, you always see so many new faces to the series, and that's great.
Well, it looks like this one, I'm only seeing one new face. I know everybody else here except for Anthony Chappelle. He's brand new to us, so everybody else has been here. Maybe not to you, but to me.
Yeah.
We're still some drivers doing some laps. They are wearing into their tires as they do this, though. So
I wonder. I know we.
Interesting.
I wonder if I know we said that we were only going to get one set. But I wonder how many of these drivers, when they go to do their outlap and maybe check their fuel and see that they only have the one set, are gonna, or maybe they're out there driving easy, or see how that works out.
They should know that information anyways.
Yeah,
it was put out, so
there was a poll on it even.
Michael Burkow with the yellow flag. Go back to the pits for him.
Pulling off. Even some of these drivers we have, Tony, hasn't put down a lap yet. If you may have invalidated on that last corner.
I think the way I would run this.
He's got some pace, so like even if he were to start from the pits. Oh.
Into a wall he goes.
All right.
I think Tony's frustrated.
This V12 is going to be a lot to handle for these drivers, especially if they haven't put any practice in. This is their own, the 203.4.
Can someone remind me what track this is? This is Silverstone. We didn't know that it was going to be Silverstone, but now we know. Yeah, it's Silverstone tonight. But next week, I have no idea what next week's going to be. We are randomizing our tracks per week. The drivers don't know what it's going to be until the driver's briefing. The weather is going to be based on real life weather for that time of day. We are going to pull up the time of day as well, kind of randomize that. So right now we're at Silverstone. It's fairly accurate weather, maybe a little bit warmer than it should be, which is fine. But optimum track, it was fast earlier, so it's already moved to optimum, and it's about 10 a.m. So.
It's want to hop on board with someone so we can just see. Let's hop on board with Mike
Cortez
and just turn up our game volume a little bit so you guys can appreciate the sound of these V12s. I am a sucker for a good sounding car. I drove the Lambo for 2 seasons. I've driven the Audi. And if the V12 wasn't such a... Well, if the V12 wasn't a front engine car, I would probably drive this just based on the sound alone.
I am going to... I'm going to get a message ready to type. Because there are... Tony Danzig is saying this race is a scam. Yep, that's the way it's going to be. I am going to type a message so drivers know that they don't have to start in the pits because they did attempt to do a qualifying lap. So I'm going to get that message ready. Tony Danzig, you will be one of them. You can start on grid. But basically, if you made an attempt to do a lap, I'm good with it. But if those drivers that just sat in the pits and didn't do anything, they... Look at this, like, Michael Cicerone has done 3 laps.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 laps is a lot of laps to go through your tires, you know? So, and he's still out on track. He's done, I mean, he's fast. It's 202.7, but like I said, there's not a lot of practicing. These guys aren't expecting this track. They're not expecting this weather. They may have made a setup for it. Who knows? But, yeah, we'll have to see how the race goes.
I'm super excited to see some of these drivers you've mentioned have put down some. There's 3 people with 3 laps, and it looks like 4 people with 2 laps. To see how it holds up over this DisadVantage series is going to be so much fun because it's really going to, you know, how aggressively do you want to drive over the entire stint. Especially in our hour races that we do in our rookie series and our upcoming Enduro series, these drivers may be used to swapping out tires every 30 minutes or 40 minutes, and now they're going to have to go full stint on one set.
And qualifying.
And I think
and qualifying.
And I think that would throw me off as a driver as well, where, you know, not only do you only have the one set to race on, but to qual on as well. So it's really kind of deceiving you. Kind of depending on how many laps you've put down, you're going to be, you know, an hour, 10 minutes on one set.
Yeah, and normally you don't want to go more than about 65 minutes on, you know, like a full tank. That's like the max you want to go out with your tires. Normally, right? So, it's definitely, you're definitely going to want to be very careful. And these guys that are out driving for 3 laps, that's going to be 75 minutes by the end of their, you know, like it's going to really wear into their tires that way. So
yeah. And with Andrew saying only when you nuke your tires, I think one thing that kind of evolved my driving, well, I really noticed it once I got the haptics for my pedals, is just trying to drive in a way where you're not constantly driving on the limit or constantly just like driving on the edge, and being able to save those tires for that amount of time.
So what I'm thinking is going to happen, this is race 1. We're seeing drivers out for the entirety of qualifying. I think by race 3, the final race, maybe even next week,
I think
we
next
will
week.
see everybody do 1 lap of qualifying and move on.
Yeah.
So, but that may change. I mean, people, the higher you qualify, the better you can start out, right? So who knows?
There's
But 4
definitely
laps,
a
Michael Cortez done 4 laps out qualifying. So
they're definitely this series kind of above any other series that I've driven. Seems to kind of have a little bit more risk reward potential. You know, do you stay out for a longer amount of time to try to qualify really well and start up
yep.
near the front, or do you just want to go out, put down an okay lap, start mid to late pack, and work your way up?
I think the answer is yes, regardless.
Yeah. All right. Get the grid walk going here.
Yep. Give me just a second. I was typing out in
All right.
chat. All right, I will read names. So you go ahead and look at the pretty drivers as I read.
All right, here we go.
Starting in P1, I don't know how to say first name. Aditya Tarle, I believe. P2 is Miguel Cicerone. P3 will be Anthony Victor Chappelle, brand new to our series, new to our community. Adam Turai in P4. Devin Anthony in P5. Nico Menendez in a weird P6. It's not normal for him to be this far down. P7's Chris Caps. P8 is going to be Andrew Casey. P9, Joe Allenson. And running on top 10 is Austin Gerber. P11, Casey Swanseeger. P12, after 4 qualifying laps, Michael Cortez. CW Wells in P13. Phil Dixon, P14. Drew Freiberger in P15. 16th is Nicholas Woods. Red de Guzman in 17th. Tony Danzig in 18th. And Mike Burkhoff in P19 overall. P2 says Cicerone, what have I done? You did a lot of qualifying laps. That's what you did. You shouldn't have done that. Yeah. You and Tony, you and Mike both race. You did attempt to put down a lap, so I'm good with that. With that said, I need to get my game set up and looking pretty because I got crap all over the place here. Lee Official, thank you for the follow. Yeah.
Some of these
to the community.
I was curious if we were going to see any good liveries from the V12s. Shout out Woods.
We got Woods out there.
Couple. We had Drew. I expected a yellow.
He did a pink.
It's pink. If anything, I expected Allenson with the pink. We see him in his pink Porsche. But I expected Drew in yellow.
Yeah, Allenson's got a nice, pretty anime car too. With that said, let's get this advertisement out of the way, so we're not interrupted for the next hour or so.
Yeah, of course.
What if I have a picture? Trans flag. We had another trans flag community member too that I did. Puncture. If you have a puncture, you're screwed. Don't get a puncture.
Run on 3 tires. You're still with us during the ad. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate the support.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the support. We're looking at the numbers right now, just after starting the Patreon, and then with the Twitch subs as well. We are almost able to cover all of our expenses for the year with subs. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for helping us out, helping us be able to cover these things. Once again, we don't ask that you do this. Feel free to do it if you want to. By no means is it a requirement. You can partake in everything that we have going on at Noobs R Us for free. That's kind of the way we roll. The drivers are starting their outlap. It is a full outlap. That's another thing drivers have to consider. The outlap does wear their tires too. So we're definitely going to see an awesome race, I think, at this point.
That's a great wing cam. I love being able to use the wing cam and the interior cam on some of these cars, but some cars, it just does not work out.
Look at all them Astons. This disadvantage
Yeah.
series. Don't forget to use TV2 as well. TV1's great for cinematics. TV2 is great for seeing the action. So,
Okay, perfect.
so
Yeah,
those of you guys that don't know, this is Shane's second stream ever with us. I'm gonna kind of help him with some things too. So go ahead, Shane.
still rookie. Yeah, the before AC race control, it loves to kick me out of TV2 and just will auto select TV1.
In the pits specifically. So if you look at somebody in the
Oh,
pits, it
okay.
goes to TV1. Yep.
Okay. So you learn something
Yep.
new
Yep.
every
Yep.
day.
So yeah, TV1 is most certainly the more cinematic one. TV2 is definitely great for seeing the action and getting an idea where the cars are. So I do go back and forth between those. Of course, you know me, I go between like the front wheel, the
Oh,
bumper
yeah.
cam, the SRO wing, all of those
Yeah.
things. So
Those views are so good.
yep, yep. The drivers are getting ready to go down the Hamilton straight, which is the F1 straight here. This is not the start finish line for the GT races. So
On board with
with the
Devin,
ball
one of
alignment.
our NRU drivers.
Yep. You're gonna notice you're not gonna see any Noobs or Us liveries because I did not want to paint them.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. I just
I
didn't want to paint one.
I thought about that earlier today. It's like, man, it would have been cool to have some news liveries. I'm like, yeah, but then Jeremy would have had to make all of
Yeah.
those.
How
That
many
would
would
have
I
been
have
a...
had to make? Let me count. See how many I
Well,
would
you
have
would
had
have
to
just
make.
had to
1,
make the
2,
one,
3.
and then everybody put their
You're
own
right.
numbers on them.
They don't do that. I do that.
Oh,
You know that.
Okay.
I hand put everybody's names and numbers on the cars. With that said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would have had to paint at least 8. So the drivers are starting to go down Wellington Straight now. This is the final straight of the race. This is a great place for overtaking. So if you go to TV1, you'll be able to see them jump out and go for those overtakes into this corner here, this final corner towards turn 16. So that'll be a good place to watch them overtakes and watch them go to the inside. With that said, I do expect a lot of kind of silliness and self-induced bonks because drivers only had their qualifying to set up the cars. So they did have a week to practice on every track, but that doesn't mean they had a lot of time to practice on this track. So
Yeah, Silverstone is kind of fitting to see the Astons at Silverstone, but maybe not. I know personally not one of my favorite tracks, but a great track nonetheless.
all right, we're going through the final corner now, turn 19 of Woodcote, onto the front straight for the GTs. They are side by side, ready to roll. 1 hour, no pit stops, 1 tire set, no practice.
DisadVantage Series 1, Race 1.
Green light, go, go, go.
Green at Silverstone.
You see Tarley immediately going to that racing line and then jumping back into the inside of the corner there. So he's going to get an awesome lead through turn 1. See Miguel right behind him now on the outside of turn 2, able to just barely hold that into Maggots with Adam 2 right behind now. Adam is cutting through Beckett's, it looks like here, and rejoining on the outside line. Looks like he had Nico Menendez follow as well. 2 drivers just both off track temporarily there. And all these drivers straight lining through. A lot of good racing so far through the first couple turns. Not a lot of box.
Very clean
That
turn
sounds
1.
awesome right there, by the way. Did you hear the cars through that? That sounded so cool.
Yeah.
They do
That's,
sound like bees when they're driving by themselves, but that kind of instance, that was pretty cool.
That may or may not have just become my new favorite view.
With that said, got Nico Menendez and Devin Anthony side by side through turn 11. Devin Anthony on the outside gets bonked. Nico able to hold on to it. Continue through Hamilton straight. Devin is going to hold that position.
Casey up a position as well. Oop, yellow
Casey
flag.
Yeah, way in the back. CW Wells backwards. Have to see how if he's able to recover. Looks like he's going to. Tony Danzig has dropped a couple positions as well. Looks like he's slipping and sliding through here, through the loop.
We're off track a little bit.
We got some battling going
Lap.
on between Joe Allenson and Gerber. Into turn 11, there's a slip and a slide. Luckily, right between Andrew Casey and Austin Gerber. Doesn't hit either of them. It is going to wear his tires, though. Something he's got to think about.
Lap 1, we've already seen another yellow flag. Oh!
Oh, yeah. Drew Freiberger completely backwards.
See what happened there with Drew. Lap 1 down, and we're already kind of seeing some drivers get a little loose. Little bonk there on the last corner.
Yeah. With that said, it looks like Adam Turai and Anthony Chappelle are battling. Anthony actually just lost that position to Adam Turai. But he's going to run away for just a moment.
Gerber and
Seeing
Allenson
Nico in a
real
place
tight.
he's not used to. Yeah, these three have kind of been going back and forth at it. Casey
Yeah.
Swanseeger is being patient in trail there. You can see how defensive Gerber's going to be here. It's going to allow Allenson to get side by side as they go towards, what is it, at the end of the Hanger Straight? Stowe, turn 7. Looks like Allenson was able to get that overtake done on Austin Gerber. Is Austin going to tuck back into the inside for turn 8? He is not. Austin's going to kind of fall off a little bit here. All the drivers kind of falling off from each other at this point.
Yeah, just a little bit. Got Devin half a second behind Nico. Man, I can't get over how great this sounds right now. Mike Burkhoff
like,
right behind Mike Cortez.
Yep.
Little
Both
wide.
Tony Danzig and Mike Burkhoff there. Tony's trying to recover
On the
his
outside.
way back up. See him in the back. On the inside through Village. That really large chicane into the loop. Mike Burkhoff gets the overtake done. Mike Cortez now has Tony Danzig behind to contend with. Red de Guzman in the loop lost position there for a moment. Joe Allenson's putting some pressure on Andrew Casey up ahead. Andrew Casey, I've watched him a little bit here and there. He's been fairly defensive. And I haven't seen any really offensive moves from Joe Allenson. We'll have to see if that changes throughout the race. We do have 55 minutes left in this 1-hour race. Once again, these drivers did try to conserve their tires during qualifying. Now they're racing. They cannot change tires. They're not used to the track. They're not used to the conditions. They're not used to the car because this car is not widely driven. So, yeah, these guys are definitely they're working for where they're at.
What kind of changes, if any, do you think these drivers have made to a setup in the short amount of time that they've had?
Probably aero stuff for sure. That's probably the easiest one. I'm sure they may have. I would just go mainly aero because that's where you're going to get. You want that nose down a little bit. You want to adjust the rear, the ride height as well in the rear just a little bit. And that right there should give you enough of your turn in or stop your oversteer if you're having it. That's the two main points, front and rear aero. So that's what I would change if I was going to do anything. Of course, I suck at setups, so that's my limitation of knowledge as well. But I know that those have the most effect on your car. So that would be what I would do. Yeah, I saw Adam Turai for just a moment flashing his lights at Miguel Cicerone. He was talking about it during practice. The practice session was actually at Watkins Glen. So, surprise, we're not at Watkins Glen. But yeah, he was talking about the lights flashing really slowly. So, kind of funny seeing him flashing his lights for just a moment there too. There he goes to the inside. Turn 17 of Brooklands. Is not able to get completely alongside. Backs out. He's going to try and get that better entry into turn 18 of Luffield. He is going to get on the inside just enough. There's the block and the spin. Saw that coming. So now Cicerone is backwards here. He's backing up across the track.
Oh, man.
In the middle of the track, collecting another car. And it looks like
way down. That's going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah, a lot of people worked their way up, but some people got kind of screwed in that. And Nico Menendez, one of them, has moved all the way back into 9th because of that. And he's got Andrew Casey behind, Phil Dixon to worry about. Yeah. All these drivers he's not usually racing with. He's usually just getting around them. So having no real practice, it's kind of put him in the back here.
that pack
And
of
then no
four,
qualifying either.
they've been battling all race, and I expect to see them battling for a while now. Nico definitely trying to kind of leave that group behind. Turn up the sound just to... Oh, that V12. I love
Yep.
it.
Mike
It's
Burkhoff. Looked like Mike Burkhoff was going for an overtake over Casey Swanson. He was able to get it done prior to turn 7. But now he's going to be alongside Phil Dixon as they go into turn 8. Phil's going to have that inside line and hold it. Mike's going to try and get a little bit wide here and just try and get a better exit. The better exit you can get out of turn 10 there, the better your exit out of turn 11 will be. And you can see that. It's evident there of how quick he was able to get out. Now he's alongside Phil Dixon as they go into turn 12. There's a little bit of contact. Phil's wide in the grass and rejoins just ahead of Casey Swanseger.
Chappelle down a couple spots as well. We're watching the pass by Mike Burkhoff there on the straight. Always hate when you're watching the replay and you see a yellow flag pop up and positions change.
Chappelle to the inside on Chris Capps. Side by side they go into Brooklyn's. He's going to hold it on that, but now he's going to have that disadvantage line.
Oh, very wide.
And now Andrew Casey's going to be on the inside. There may be contact. There's not. Space was given. And now Andrew Casey may get this position for free. I have to see as they go through the final corner onto the front straight. Still side by side. Into the braking zone of turn 1. Andrew Casey's going to have that inside line. And he is going to hold that position. Chappelle is going to keep his nose in there. Is he going to go for the overtake into Maggots? He's not. Andrew Casey gets a free position more or less because of that bonk from Chappelle.
Yeah. Tony Danzig and Mike Cortez going at it. Mike Cortez, we just
very
swapped
wobbly
to him, but very wide.
Yep.
Tony off track, sliding around a bit. That's really starting to eat into those tires. See if Mike can get around him on the straight there.
Those of us that don't make our own setups would have a major disadvantage in this series. If you're usually used to just going, downloading your setup and going, like me, I would
guilty
have no
as
idea
charged.
Yeah. And that's also evident from some of these drivers that we see up in front now in the back. Tony Danzig being one of them. I'm not saying he doesn't know how to run his setup, but he jumped in last second, no practice the entire week, no setup. So he's definitely got a lot to learn.
Oh, bonked there by Wells and Guzman. Back that up just a second. We can see what happened there. Looked like just outpaced him in the corner and just came up too quick.
Looks like who was that? Guzman on the 420 car.
Yep.
Yeah, he kind of cut back in a place he probably shouldn't have too. We'll leave that to the stewards though. Drew Freiberger just had a mess up. Is now falling back a little bit here. Michael Burkhoff putting some pressure on Austin Gerber.
Still lots of time. We still have 49 minutes worth of racing, so even though we've kind of seen some bonks, it won't surprise me to see we're definitely going to see some battles later on in this race, especially around absolutely. I think the 30-minute mark may be kind of a kind of a landmark for when we kind of start to see a lot more slides happening.
It looks like we may already have a back marker in the mix here. Tarley has a driver right behind him. Who I don't know who that. Love this, Rushy. Thank you for the follow. We appreciate that. We don't normally stream these kinds of races. We're definitely rookie series, rookie oriented. But this is just too much fun. That's Miguel Cicerone that Tarley just got around. Because he had that back marker in the mix, Adam Turai in P2 has had some time to catch up. It's starting to close that gap to Tarley ahead.
And Cicerone
in P3.
Cicerone we saw early on that last corner. He was stopped kind of mid-apex there and kind of received some damage. So he must have been in the pits for a little bit trying to get that all fixed up.
Nico Menendez putting some pressure on Joe Allenson, is able to get around him and hold that position into turn 13 farm curve.
Andrew Casey up
Andrew
a
Casey,
position.
Yep, he just gained a position as well. Same time. Unfortunately, we can't watch both at the
Yeah.
same time. But Andrew Casey up in P4, only 2 seconds off of Devin Anthony now. Potential podium for Andrew Casey.
At Chris
Anthony
Caps.
Victor Chappelle qualified P1, now in P6, working his way back up after that early on bonk. So he's definitely gaining some ground. He's right on the tail of Chris Caps. Chris Caps always in that neon yellow car. It doesn't matter what he's driving.
Yeah.
Always in a bright neon yellow.
Yellow flag from Mike Cortez and Tony. Looks like they're back on track. Dixon,
Looks like
half a second behind Gerber.
Chappelle's able to get around on the inside of Chris Caps through turn 1. But they're still side by side out of that turn. Into Maggots and Beckett's they go. Chris Caps is going to have the inside line for that first portion, but that's not going to be short-lived as Chappelle's going to have that next turn. Looks like he's able to gain that position. There's some dust ahead of him. I wonder who's off. Andrew Casey must have touched some grass, something he doesn't like to do in person. But he'll do it on a sim racing game all day, every day. Good overtake from Chappelle, up into 5th now. Nico Menendez just in trail of them.
I was going to say Nico right behind these drivers.
Yeah, he's got to gain that ground back up after his bonk that he had as well. Series is definitely more difficult for some of these usual podium drivers. Nico Menendez, for sure, a usual podium driver, now has to work his way up from mid-pack multiple times. So it's just not something we would normally see, and it's definitely a challenge in these cars. All of them equal on power and everything. The only thing you can do is change the setup. So there's no BOP, there's nothing. So it's just all the same car. Good luck, you know?
Yeah.
So Nico Menendez is kind of back and forth between Chris Caps and Joe Allenson, almost equidistant from each driver. So he may get ready for an overtake as he comes. Yeah, look at him.
Yeah, he's seen go so wide.
Chris Cap.
Trying to make a move on the straight.
Down to the inside, side by side onto Wellington Straight. What a move. Here we go onto the inside of Brooklands. You can see how wide Chris Caps is being here. He said, you know what, just take it. Just go.
allowing Allenson there inside.
Yep. So Chris losing 2 positions because of that, but Allenson is now going to try and keep that pressure on Nico Menendez. What a send on the way out of that chicane. That was awesome.
Coming up over that curb, touching that grass a little bit, definitely increases that pucker factor just a little bit. You don't want to be getting loose
further
there.
back. I want to look at Drew Freiberger and Tony Danzig. Drew was able to just get around Tony almost effortlessly. It looks like he's on the outside of this corner, though. Tony's not going to give it up just yet. See if Tony's able to catch back up and go. He was just flashing his lights at him. Tony, the light flashing Danzig into turn 1 and see if he's able to gain that ground back up. Tony is at a severe disadvantage, not having practiced this car at all. Losing some extra time. Drew's able to get around him. Tony's not used to being this far back, you guys. Look at him. Tony hitting the grass
Sliding.
off track. Able to hold it straight and rejoin through turn 5. That could have been dangerous.
Yeah.
Let's move back up now to the next battle. Mike Burkhoff again.
Burkhoff. This train of 5 cars, all within, I think the biggest gap between these 5 cars we have is 0.7 right now. Anything can happen here.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to point out as well that Adam Turai has fallen off from P1, is now 9 seconds in trail. Devin Anthony 6.5 from Adam, and then Andrew Casey's right behind Devin. So there may be a battle for a podium here. Casey Swanseger with the yellow flag. Looks like he was fairly alone there. We'll continue with this battle.
Mike right on Caps.
Same kind of thing that we just saw Nico Menendez do, but he wasn't able to hold that side by side. Caps staying wide here once again. Yeah, Caps is definitely fairly wide through that corner. He just gives it up, more or less.
And that could just be from Caps a track familiarity. Again, these drivers only seeing this track, I think they saw it during the driver's briefing, and then, you know, you have 10 minutes to practice and then qual.
Yep.
So,
Now they did most likely have the chance to practice this track throughout the week. I don't
right.
think too many people did practice. I think they just got themselves a baseline set up and went with it.
Drew Freiberger and Tony Danzig still side by side, trading positions back.
Yep, Drew fairly wide there through Woodcote. It's more or less gave that position up to Tony. He does look like he may have a little bit extra speed as they go through cops now. Turn one hits Tony. Tony's backwards. That was, oh my goodness.
Had a little bit of extra speed.
I'm sure Drew and Tony in chat are having words, but Tony probably just said, Drew, and Drew was like, I'm so sorry. That's probably the conversation.
Yeah.
Nico Menendez keeps catching up to Chappelle, but not able to really get alongside him, not quick enough to do so. Definitely within slipstream the entire time, but not able to get enough pressure in, or get close enough to pressure him and make him make a mistake.
Yeah, Nico,
Michael
one of those
behind though too.
Nico, one of those drivers, like you said, it's not. Well, I'm thinking back now to the GT4 race. Nico trying to make the same move that he made, cutting over that curb again. We'll see. Not as aggressive this time. Nico with the GT4s, where we saw a lot of yellow flags from him on the race at the finale where he switched to the McLaren. And we were kind of joking around because I don't know if I've ever seen Nico get a yellow flag. And I was just having the thought here where it's almost funny that we see him battling other drivers because he's usually just up front.
It's absolutely a disadvantage series. I mean, he does have the driver's skill to get up and around. He just didn't have the practice, So
yeah.
Not on this track. He doesn't have the setup. So everybody else, it's trying to make it as properly equal for everybody as possible.
Look at these four drivers going through Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, all of them. It looks like lap one again. Nico keeping that pressure on. Mike Burkhoff and Trail pressuring Joe Allenson. Joe has actually gained a little bit of ground on Nico, so it's kind of back and forth through Maggots and Beckett's there. Andrew Casey is still trying to close that gap up to Devin Anthony. 1.5 seconds off of him. Phil Dixon trying to close the gap to Austin Gerber. The battles right now are here through P5 through P8. So that is where our current battles are.
We also see Cicerone, even though he's in 19th, is still behind. Turai hasn't gotten around him yet. So maybe potentially see Cicerone unlap himself and maybe catch up to some of these other back. I don't
know if we're going to see that, only because I watched Tarley get around him and run away. Unless, of course, Cicerone is able to maintain his footing with the grip. But he did a lot more laps than Tarley did. So.
Right.
Bloodless says second half of the race will be interesting with how little grip everyone will have. Yep,
yeah.
Absolutely.
A little sliding as these drivers come together. Nico may lose this position to Allenson. He's got the inside. Oh,
look, Allenson backed out at the apex.
Yeah.
Now Allenson has to hold off Mike Burkhoff. Burkhoff's got a great run on that exit there.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, completes the overtake prior to the turn it.
And that may have just...
The drivers just... I'm going to interrupt and go back to the conversation of chat. The drivers that did all those laps during qualifying, they're going to see the most hit. I mean, 15 minutes of driving is going to be ridiculous. So that'll be interesting to see, especially with some of those drivers that did qualify fairly high up. Chappelle being one of them. Sorry, go back to you, Shane.
Where I was saying that may have just been a safe move, like a conscious safe move from Allenson there. Just backing out on that corner. It may just, you gotta know and pick your battles as to when you're gonna really send it on someone. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
What are we seeing now?
That was Guzman and Woods.
Yeah.
Looked like Goose
falling off. Nico Menendez once again battling Chappelle. These two were battling early on, and they got into it, I believe. Both of them did. or maybe they were just around each other during an incident. But I feel like they're the ones that got into each other. I can't quite
Yeah.
remember. Menendez on the outside of Club. He's going to be now on the inside of the rest of the chicane. He's not going to have the better speed on the exit here. Chappelle will, but he will have that position advantage. See how far off track
Yeah,
Chappelle
a
went
little
there
wide.
just to avoid any potential incident. I believe that's where the incident was with Nico Menendez early on. Now Nico has Mike Burkhoff on the inside. Mike able to get the overtake
Burkhoff with the
done
move on
in
Nico.
turn 12. That was a sneaky overtake.
Yeah, it
I almost didn't even
was.
catch that.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Good job, Mike. Nico now has Joe Allenson behind. This is a lot of racing for drivers that don't normally have to put this much pressure ahead or behind.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see this.
Dixon's still behind Gerber. Half a second. This train of cars, like we said, 5th through 8th right now. These 4 have been stuck together for quite a while. But we're kind of getting into that halfway mark, just like what Bloodless was pointing out there. The halfway mark, I really think the last 30 minutes, Tony with the drive-through, the last 30 minutes of this race is what's going to decide position for a lot of people, I think.
Yep, absolutely. Mike Burkhoff is now caught up to Chappelle and they're putting heavy pressure on
Sniffing.
him. Mike Burkhoff is one of the most adaptive drivers I've ever been around. It doesn't matter what you put him in, he will catch up and be quick. And he's awesome for that. So
You knew
he has go ahead.
Mike has a lot of driver skill when on a grid you all of a sudden see a 488. You don't see him super often, and he's putting down pretty fast times in that car, and he's doing all the setups himself. I'm sure Mike
started in the back, last place.
I'm sure Mike has. Some of these drivers are doing really well with the setups. I'm sure Mike is up there with how quick he was kind of able to make some changes to this car and setup wise.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's no longer playing on a controller. He's finally got his sim rig put back together. He's on a wheel
He's
again.
put on a controller for a short period.
Putting pressure on Chappelle still. Menendez and Allenson right next to each other. This train of 4 cars, this is going to be great to watch. Dixon right behind Gerber.
They have been back and forth, zipping and zapping. Oh, there's a bonk! Oh my goodness, Mike Burkhoff just took it on the chin and just ran away with it. They're still side by side going into Wellington Straight now. Mike's going to have that better exit.
873 Chappelle.
Nico Menendez right behind, but there's also Joe Allenson in the mix.
Oh,
3 wide situation developing.
Oh, like man.
Chappelle was able to hold that. Now he's going to lose that position. Look at that. Nico Menendez sneaking around. Like I said, all of these drivers have been back. Oh, there it is.
Little
bonk again. Oh, no. But they've been all like fighting for this 5th place.
Yeah.
Over and over again. So there's another tap. There we go.
So able to bring it in. Good job, Nico. Allenson.
With that said, Mike Burkhoff is now leading this pack of 4. And I believe Mike will just run away. That's usually what Mike does. These guys are going to all end up battling, and Mike will run away. I think Chappelle may follow as Nico and Joe Allenson continue to battle.
There's that, for Allenson now, having Nico behind him, one thing that still plagues me as I've gotten better, I've moved up from our rookie into our Pro-Am split. There's certain drivers that if I have behind me, it's such a mental mind game that I play with myself, even. Because if I see Nico behind me, I all of a sudden just start driving terribly.
Hey man, it happens.
So,
the next time we get on to Hangar Straight, let's have you switch over to TV1 for that.
Okay.
That's the straight after Maggots and Beckett's. I just want you to see that. I like the TV2 one with all the cars and the pretty sounds, but the TV1 looked nice too.
Okay.
Phil Dixon putting some pressure on Austin Gerber back there. We may have another train forming here between Chris Katz, Austin Gerber, and Phil Dixon.
Yep. They're about 3 seconds off of, 3.8 off Nico. But these 2 trains of cars now, it's...
Yeah. Yep. Constant battling here mid-pack. All this battling is going to wear their tires, though. I mean, we may see like Casey Swanseger, Mike Cortez, Drew. We may see them eventually catch up to these guys because they're just putting down hot laps and not really battling, not wearing their tires like these guys are.
Yeah. Position change for Caps and Gerber. With Dixon
It looks
getting
like
in
Caps-
the mix.
Yep, Caps is trying to keep. Ooh, there was a bit of glitchiness there. I don't know if you saw that, but I did.
Yeah.
Caps losing multiple positions during this race. Saw it more or less give up a couple of them. So hopefully he's able to regain some of these. He's just being conservative right now. So. Red de Guzman and Nicholas Woods once again in the back and battling. Drew Freiberger completely freaking backwards in the loop.
A little sideways a little bit for Nick.
Yeah.
These drivers coming through, Maggots and Beckett's. Allenson and
There
Menendez.
you go. Did you see that camera view for just a split moment when you were on it?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah, that
That's
camera
good.
view. Look at that.
Yeah, that's
Isn't that cool. Yeah, I like that one. I mean, I like TV2 for that same portion of the track. It's cool.
Yeah.
Andrew Casey's finally caught up to Devin Anthony. Something I say was going to happen. I believe Andrew was being conservative on his tires for a couple laps because he wasn't really in that 2-second range for a while. But now he's up within a second of Devin Anthony. May see a battle happen here shortly. Like I said with Chappelle and Mike Burkhoff, Mike is already 5 seconds ahead of Chappelle, and Chappelle is 2 seconds ahead of Joe Allenson and Nico. I said that was going to happen, and it's happened. So. All right, we're about the halfway mark. We do have some battles still going, but I think we should run this last advertisement of the stream and get this out of the way so we're not interrupted
Sounds
during
good.
the post-race interviews.
Of course. Yeah, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Those of you that are sticking with us, thank you for the sub. Thank you for Prime. I mean, Prime sub's free. So thanks for throwing that one at us. Like I said, those of you that are subscribed and those of you that are part of the Patreon are helping us out substantially. We're able to continue to pay for everything and no longer be out of pocket anymore. So hopefully in the next couple of months we will be properly able to cover all of that. So yeah, that's a good point to do our advertisement because no real battles here.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to kind of fall off each other. I definitely, now that we're reaching that halfway point, I'm really excited to see. We've been seeing now Chappelle getting a little slippery. For,
A little more slippering.
Yeah. English is only my first language, so.
With that said, I had misinterpreted my broadcasting earlier in the splits. Chappelle is definitely leading that gap. Mike Burkhoff is 3.8 seconds ahead of that group. So.
Oh, sideways for Allenson. Hopefully he's able to get recovered well and out of the way.
I just switched off him for just a moment. But looks like Allenson has fallen off now 3 seconds in trail of that group of drivers, and Nico Menendez was able to get around Chappelle. Phil Dixon is putting some pressure on Austin Gerber once again. This battle has been raging the entire race.
We were talking about Mike Burkhoff just a second ago, throwing down the fastest lap of the race with a 202.1.
Yeah, he's an adaptive little guy.
Halfway through the race, I didn't see exactly when he threw that time down, but I glanced at it just a little bit ago, and our first place Tarlay had the fastest lap, and Mike coming in about a second, 0.8.
With that said, Adam Turai does have the potential for being the fastest lap if he can just hold it together. If Adam could put all of his sectors together, he could potentially do a 201.871. So he's definitely not up there yet, but he's getting there. Ooh, a resub. You don't know who this is. I'm gonna let you try and figure out who it is.
If that guy, so I recognize the name, but
Yep.
I can only imagine it's maybe Casaboon.
Casa Boo, the big oof. James the big oof Casaboon. That's what your name is now. I'm changing it in Discord right now.
Hopefully, James was able to retain his number for the next rookie series.
We haven't switched it yet. I'm waiting on a response from the other driver. If I don't get anything by the end of the week, I'll just manually change it. So
Dixon
we
and
will get
Gerber
that.
still our closest battle right now. Just a position change between Cizeron and Woods. Looks like Woods backwards on track, doing a little Scandinavian flick. Able to
All
get
right, James,
going
I've
back to win.
changed your nickname in Discord to the Big Oof.
Menendez coming up.
Menendez has Chappelle
Flashing.
behind him. Looks like he's able to get around him and stay ahead of him. Just a
Chappelle
moment.
flashing Woods trying to get around him there. What a send on the outside.
Is that Nicholas Woods in the mix? It is a back marker, isn't it?
The back markers are not a little wide. Good save from Woods there, seeing that and slowing down going into that corner.
Well, that's just your registered name. Of course, that's what it is. We're starting to break up the groups just a little bit here and there. Adam Turai is still within that 6.5 second range of Tarley. I believe he can catch up. He's just got to keep some quick laps in, and he'll be able to do it. Devin Anthony has made a couple mistakes here and there, has allowed Andrew Casey to catch up. Andrew's just outside of Slipstream, up on his Delta through turn 1, though, so we'll see if he's able to continue to improve. Mike Burkhoff in 5th, gaining some ground on Andrew Casey, nearly a whole second per lap faster. We've got 26 minutes. I don't see why Mike Burkhoff won't be battling Andrew Casey in the next couple of laps. So 4 laps. A whole lot of yapping coming from the not number 7 guy.
Yeah, two right.
Once
We
again-
see last lap 8/10 faster than Tarley.
Yeah. This battle between Phil Dixon and Austin Gerber has been raging. I feel like they've just been back and forth the entire race.
It's like Joe Allenson
Listen to
trying to
those
get around
pretty
Nick
cars.
Woods.
Yeah, back markers in the mix, kind of messing some things up. Now, these back markers aren't back markers because they're slow per se, but back markers because they got into an incident. So we're seeing a lot of on pace with each other. I mean, we are seeing some slow drivers, don't get me wrong, but like P1's best lap is a 202.2. And then down to, let's see, in P12, the Chappelle's is a 203.7. I mean, just a little bit off, you know?
Yeah.
202.1
Oh, bump
from
there
Mike
from
Burkhoff.
Caps on Gerber.
Gerber trying to recover from that. Slipping and sliding as he does. Look at those green taillight covers. I
Yeah.
didn't even realize that. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's interesting seeing it. It first caught my eye when we were looking at the back of Drew Freiberger's car with the pink covers.
Oh, yeah.
But the green there really stands out. I like the livery on this car.
There was one with a white on the tail. I don't know who that was. I'm going to start scrolling through and finding them.
Nick
Andrew
Woods kind of
Casey's
has
with the blues looks nice, too.
Yeah, Nick Woods with has kind of the white on the tail lights there.
That
Once
may be what it was that I was looking at then. Yeah, could have been.
Mike Burkhoff 3 seconds behind Andrew Casey now.
Yeah, he's gaining that ground. Like I said, 3 laps and he'll be on his tail. 202.162. Last lap was a 203.115. So a little bit off on that pace, but he can do his best lap. He can catch up.
Yeah.
Easy.
Even with the 203.1, still half a second faster than Andrew Casey. So
Yeah,
you got to imagine Andrew Casey, looking at those relatives, just hoping that Mike stays back there, and you see that number get smaller and smaller every lap. That definitely plays into it.
If I honestly, at this point in the race, I mean, you got 23 minutes, right? And all you're trying to do is catch Devin Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would politely let Mike Burkhoff pass and hope that Devin and Mike are battling enough that they cause a screw up.
Right.
And you can get around both of them. But, I mean, also, you're in fourth place. So maybe don't give up fourth place and
Right.
hold on to those extra points, right? So
It's really how much do you want to, how much do you want to battle? How much tire do you have left? If you let one person by, do you just want to lose one spot, or do you want to battle, maybe get into an incident, lose 10?
oh no. Look what Nick just said in chat.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Having
but
to pit for fuel.
I was gonna say Andrew Casey doesn't know that, but he does know that because if he just heard that from the pit wall, they're all in voice chat together.
Yeah.
So we have seen a couple pits.
Blunder from Mike.
Chappelle did a pit. It was 27 seconds long, 27.7. I believe maybe it was 17.6. I don't know. I'm having a hard time reading what this pit time is. Miguel did a 60 seconds, so he may have had like a stop and go.
Right.
Oh my goodness! I was watching Chappelle and he just spun out.
Oh no.
Wellington straight, all alone, nobody around, and just lost it completely
man.
sideways. That's going to lose him a position. I think Mike Cortez may catch up prior to turn 17. Not quite.
Not quite, but definitely gained a lot of ground there.
Yeah, he did. Chappelle's a quick driver, though. I mean, he did pit that last lap, so his last lap was a 2:44, but 2:03 was his quickest. Mike Cortez is 2:05, so I don't believe Mike Cortez will put a whole lot of pressure on him. Get around him.
Sliding that far across that pavement too on 40 minutes into a one set of tire race. Last thing you need to be doing is sliding that far across the pavement.
Yeah, I hope 20 minutes left. I mean,
I hope someone's.
Sure
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Chappelle did a lot of qualifying, so I'm sure his tires are freaking gone. You know.
I was just saying. I hope someone screenshots at the end their tire wear, just so we can see.
may see all zeros at the end. Who knows? Kanye says first race of the series with a single tire set is the tire eater itself. Another yellow flag from Drew. I don't know what's going on. He's alone there. Might have just been an off track.
It'll. I definitely think, like we were talking about earlier. Next week, I think we're going to see a lot of strategy change come.
Especially for the qualifying. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're seeing a lull in the traffic right now. It looks like Andrew Casey's trying to gain on Devin, and Mike Cortez is trying to gain on Anthony Chappelle. But right now, there's a whole lot of nothing. Yeah. Everybody's nearly outside of that 2-second range from each other. Devin Anthony, his last lap was a 2:02.980. He just had a mistake this lap, so he's a little bit slow. Andrew Casey's was a 2:03 flat. So he's not really improving. I don't see any improving time for him. So I don't think he's going to gain anything. We do see some improving time from other drivers. Mike Burkhoff. Nope, not him. Phil Dixon, Austin Gerber. And then we see some drivers on really slow laps. Chappelle's 4 seconds off his best pace. So 4 seconds is quite a bit. He's about to come across the line now. That was from that slip and slide. That would have been Tony if he kept with it. What happened to this race? What do you mean, Rocco?
Yeah, Burkhoff closed.
I hope we get to see some sparks from people finishing on rims. Go ahead.
That Mike down to 2 seconds on Andrew Casey. So definitely, I think by the end of this race, they'll be definitely right next to each other.
Well, like we had heard, Mike has to pit, so
that's
right next to each other or not. I don't think there's going to be much of a battle. How's Casey's Fonseeker 13 plus 13 of the lead? Everybody's driving the same car. He's not 13 of the lead. He's 13 off the driver ahead of him. That's what you're seeing there. Yeah, he's 14 seconds off of Austin Gerber ahead. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like James brought up that point, and we'll revisit it. Burkhoff's good, and you put him in a car, he'll figure it out. So, speaking of Burkhoff being good, there's his pit stop. He's lost the position to Nico Menendez immediately, and now Joe Allenson as well. And Phil Dixon.
Dropping down
Chris
that
Capps
list.
is about to come around. Austin Gerber as well. He's going to have to work his way back up from probably P11.
Andrew, if you didn't know that Mike was having to pit, probably realizing it now and breathing a little sigh of relief.
Well, Kanye's in the chat with them all, so we'll have to see what happens there.
Yeah.
Burkhoff leaving the pit now. Casey Swanseeger passing. Mike is only a couple seconds off. And has Victor Chappelle within range too. It looks like, nope, take that back. Victor Chappelle. Why did I show him right behind Mike? That was weird.
Show him as
I saw that.
Oh, he's still just, he's 20 so seconds behind Mike. Mike, though, half a second behind Casey, though, so we'll definitely still see the battle.
He's 2 seconds off of Casey. Casey is in trail of a back marker, it looks like here. But Mike will gain this ground for sure. He's got a little bit more, and his tires are cooled off. If they were overheating, that's good. If they were cold, it's not good that he did his pit stop, but Mike is going to have to work his way back up. Ooh. Saw that back marker slipping and sliding through there. Casey Swanseeger now has a back marker between him and Mike Burkhoff. He wants him to stay there. Fastest lap from Adam Two-Ride, taking that away. Like I said, Adam could absolutely do it. He could be in the 201s for sure.
Mike able to get around.
Yeah, he got around him really quick. He's going to close up that gap to Casey Swanseeger. Ferrari snuck onto the pit wall and boxed Mike for wets. Okay, so Mike is on wet tires. Got it. I wouldn't want to drive wet tires right now. That would suck.
I don't know if that'll get reviewed by the stewards for throwing on wets.
It will. If it's reported. I mean, somebody's got to report it. I will say, though, I think the only driver that's quit out is Tony Danzig. We've held on to every other driver.
It's kind of a surprising amount of cars to see for the start of this series. I hope everybody continues through.
Yeah, I hope we continue to get more drivers for the next race and the following, because we had 23 signed up. 19 showed up, so it's pretty good. Mike Burkhoff is now within slipstream range of Casey Swanseeger.
0.4 behind him.
Casey may just play that smart game and say, just go on, dude. We'll have to see what happens as they go into Maggots and Beckett's now. Mike immediately closing up to nearly a half a second. Both those V12 Astons roaring out of Beckett's, or buzzing out of Beckett's, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Onto the hangar straight they go. Casey's going to put his car in the middle of the track. He does not want to be overtaken. He is going to put up a fight. Onto the racing line they go, right before the braking zone. Mike is going to keep that pressure up. In the Vale they go now. Not leaving the racing line just yet. Casey knows that this is a dangerous place to go for an overtake. Mike knows it too. Don't want to send it anyways, being that far back. But these straights, we may see Casey move to that inside line to be a little bit more defensive.
Yep. Looked like Mike backed out a little bit there. He had a little bit of a run.
Yep, he's right on his tail though, within a quarter of a second. See how my Enduro partner does. Let's back out of this camera and get some of these other camera views going.
Yep.
I just looked up at yours there. I'm sorry.
I'm just a sucker for the interior.
Yeah. Mike Burkhoff still closing that gap up. He's got a great run onto the Wellington Straight. Going to the inside line. He's going to be side by side with Casey Swanseeger into turn 7. Casey's more or less giving him that position. Backed out early. Got a yellow flag from Red de Guzman. He's got Adam Tourai in his vicinity. Luckily, nothing came of that. Good clean overtake by Mike. I think Casey just saw that he had the run and he was going to the inside. And he said, "Just go for it, man. Let him have it." He was in 11th before Mike's pit. He's in 11th again. You know, it's not really like he lost a position.
Yep.
If you think about it that way.
Yeah, when he came out of pits, he closed that position so fast. You know, he's just let him go.
Yep. Andrew Casey was just within a second of Devin Anthony. He's kind of backed out. Chris Capps and Austin Gerber once again battling. These guys all race have been battling each other. So Chris Capps has gained some ground on Austin. Last 13 minutes of the race. These drivers are definitely feeling their tire wear now. I mean, the guys up in front are still doing 202s.
Yeah,
You know?
that's crazy.
It's just wild.
Shout out to the
Little bit of
drivers. I
defense.
thought for sure once we got to like the last 15 minutes, it was just gonna be a bloodbath. But everybody's doing really well. We've seen a couple people, couple spins, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, these guys are definitely battling each other nearly the entire race. I mean, that was a good battle from the beginning, though.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah,
that from 5th all the way to 8th, just constantly fighting each other for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. It was awesome to see. Nico Menendez has settled into his position of P5, not really gaining too much on Andrew Casey. He has gained some ground, but not enough. And Andrew Casey's trying to catch up Devin, not quite able to do it just yet. Devin's last lap was a 2.725, which is his fastest lap of the entire race. Doing your fastest lap with 11 minutes left on worn tires is wild.
yeah.
But Devin does not want to lose that position. Look, he's already pulled away from Andrew Casey. So.
Devin, one of those drivers. I know we're talking about Mike too. Devin's one of those drivers for our rookies, driving the NSX. Kind of a commonly known difficult car to drive.
Yeah.
And Devin's one of those drivers too. He's so consistent. It's
Yes.
it's not surprising to see him doing well in the V12s.
I say this about Devin every single time I talk about him, but he does not buckle under pressure, period. He is extremely consistent and doesn't buckle. So if you're putting pressure on him, you might as well not even exist because he doesn't care. He knows you're there. He'll be defensive.
Yeah.
But it's not like it phases him at all. He's just like, yep, this is it. You know?
Devin's one of those drivers. I don't even try to mind punt. I don't try to poke in the mirror.
I do. I don't care who it is.
I just know that if I do, and then if I don't have the intention, like if I do it just to like play with him, it's not going to do anything. It's just not going to affect Devin.
Ooh, a little bit off track from Chris Capps there. He is on the inside though. Village not able to get alongside, but closed up that gap again to Austin Gerber.
A little slide.
Unless it's multi-class, you say. I don't know anything about that. Okay. Chris Capps. This is the only battle of the race right now. Chris Capps is within 1 second of Austin Gerber. Everybody else is outside of 2 seconds of their competitors. So
Yeah, we're
this
seeing
is the battle, last 10 minutes of the race.
We're seeing Andrew Casey and Devin Anthony for that 3-4 position. They're basically running
It's a battle of wits.
Yeah, one will run a slow lap, and then one will run a, they kind of run in slow laps and fast laps together, and their position's not really changing.
Devin's crashed into me before too.
Oh yeah, I think our
trying to stay ahead of the guy, but
last week for the ORL series, which so for the ORL series, GT3 Americas is multi-class.
Got a penalty too.
Yeah, Devin receiving a penalty for that.
Yeah,
may have missed his braking point. I can't remember, but definitely got in contact with Boone and Nico.
Big oof.
Maybe, but I can't remember that. But there was definitely some
teammates
drama there.
killing each other outside of our series. Okay, you guys got to quit doing that. You're all driving the Noobs or Us cars. Quit it. It was Nico. Oversight the braking. Dang, guys.
Was an honest mistake.
Oh no.
While we kind of gotta.
Whatever you say, I'm gonna change that to your nickname, James. I was clean, Casaboon.
Well, we kind of have a lull in the moment with these battles. You want to talk about the Enduro series that we have coming up on Saturday?
Oh yeah, the Enduro series coming up. This series starts on Saturday, right? Is it this Saturday?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Okay, so this Saturday we're partnering with ORL, so we're going back and forth between hosting these races. So Noobs R Us will be hosting and streaming first. We will be streaming each race, just to clarify that. But we will be the host for this. It'll be 2 hours of Nordschleife. So 3 drivers, I think 3 drivers maximum, 1 driver minimum. We'll be hosting that, streaming it on our Twitch. With that said, the next race, 3 hours of Spa, will be hosted by ORL, and the Noobs R Us guys will be streaming it on ORL's YouTube channel. So we're going to go back and forth between each race. Race 3 is going to be 4 long hours of Watkins Glen, hosted by Noobs R Us. And then around 4, 2 hours, going back down to the 2 hours of Barcelona, hosted by ORL. 3 hours of Imola, hosted by NRU. And then the finale will be 4 hours of Suzuka, hosted by ORL. ORL is helping the Noobs R Us community learn how to do these endurance-sized events. They're also, because ORL is a much bigger community, they provide more advertisement for us, so they're helping us out on that end. ORL will also be doing the live stewarding for these events. We are sending some stewards over to them to learn how to do the live stewarding stuff, so they're going to help with that. And yeah, I'm extremely excited to work with them and see how this series runs. With all of that said, I'm not going to be able to do any of it. I'm not going to be there for the briefings. I'm not going to be there for the streams. I will be at work, but I'm excited for it nonetheless. So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be able to. Tony Danzig and I will be streaming the Enduro series. I'm super excited for it. There's definitely a bit of a learning curve for Tony and I, now that Jeremy's not going to be around for that. But I think it's going to be great. The first track we're doing is Nordschleife, 170 plus turns. If we could tease that we have a new intro video for that series, Jeremy.
There's going to be a new intro video for the series, but it's not going to take away our standard intro video that you guys normally see. It will solely be most likely be for only these 6 tracks and or only this series. But I know some of you guys in chat have seen it or maybe haven't, but I'm excited for it. The new intro video is awesome. It's a little bit more relaxed than our current intro video. So
A shout out to Jeremy for making those videos, and some of the some, not any of these liveries that we see, but some liveries that we normally see in our rookie series and for the works drivers. And I know I've came to Jeremy with some livery ideas, and seeing him work on the videos, it's a monumental amount of effort that goes into making these intros, and they look amazing.
So anyways, I was thinking about maybe getting a hotel room after this, if you're down. With all of that said, I appreciate it. I do make the liveries for our works drivers. Between rookie seasons, I can run between 5 liveries, or if I have to completely redo a livery, then I have to do 50 liveries. So who knows what it ends up being. This next season, I think I got to put Mid-Pack Mafia on. I don't remember if I replaced it on everybody's. Oh, that might be something I need to do. There's a lot of crap I got to do behind the scenes. With all that said, enough talking about me. Let's talk about you, Shane. Thank you for stepping up and wanting to host and commentate. So
yeah, of course. It's been Nick Woods with the yellow flag. Just a little bit off track.
Yeah, he's kind of had a couple of them. We're in the last 5 minutes of the race, guys. These tires are absolutely wearing. Adam Turai has closed up the gap substantially to Tarley up in first. Now 3 seconds in trail. Andrew Casey, after all that pushing, is now starting to fall off. He's 3 seconds off from Devin Anthony. So we're seeing nothing but red on our screens right now with slow laps. So TW Wells maybe putting fast lap in. Andrew Casey broke some rules and went wide on turn 1. So he's kind of quick there too. But yeah, sorry about that, Shane. Back to you.
Yeah, no. Speaking of which, Allenson throwing down his fastest lap of the race at 202.4, 27 laps in. But yeah,
he was kind of held up after his first. He kind of fell back pretty early on and caught back up now.
He was battling for a long time, so now he's kind of got some open areas, kind of trying to start to find his rhythm, which is always so annoying when you start to find your rhythm right at the end of a race.
Yeah, but these guys are going to have more practice in today's race than they had probably the entire week, especially for those that didn't deliberately practice, and went into
Yeah.
it blind. So next week we're going to see a little bit more competence and quickness, I think, from some of these drivers that qualified mid-pack that normally don't qualify there. So we're definitely going to see an improvement for next week's race. No idea what the track's going to be. Hey, it could be Silverstone again. We're not going to make it be Silverstone, but yeah, I'm excited to see what it's going to be. We won't know until next week either.
And we won't be coming back to Silverstone. It'll be
No, absolutely not.
the engineer will not
The only
do
track
that twice.
we will deliberately not do is Nordschleife, because an hour on Nordschleife is what, 3 laps. So
it's been interesting
yeah.
in our practice server. We have a 2-hour practice server for Nords right now, and time goes by way too quickly. You realize that you've only put down 5 laps.
Yep,
and the
yep.
practice server's reset already.
Every other track is up for race. Every single one of them. Yep. Not just good tracks. You could be on a cruddy track. We're doing real weather too. We're doing random time of day. So the time of day, the bot will also give us the time of day. We pull up the weather for that time of day, and that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, it's kind of how we've been running it.
Yeah, the going back to our leaders here, the commentating for the races has been super awesome. I don't get excited about a lot of stuff. The wife always gives me a hard time, but I geek out over seeing race cars make loud noises and go in circles for an hour at a time. So
Blood the Source Sheet, to answer your question about this series, this is a one-off series. We don't normally do these. Once again, it's just we normally do rookie series and that kind of thing. So this is definitely new to our drivers. They don't know which track they're going to be on until the driver's briefing, which happens 15 minutes prior to qualifying. With that said, we restart the server during qualifying, and then once we're done with the briefing, they can go out for the last couple of minutes of practice if they want to. They're wasting their tire set if they do, and then they qualify on that track. So they don't know what it's going to be. They don't know what the conditions are going to be. They don't know what the time of day is going to be. They don't know what any of that's going to be until the driver's briefing 15 minutes prior to the race.
and if you're on PC or on SimGrid,
Yep, you're absolutely welcome to join.
Two-Rai throwing down, didn't catch what lap it was on, but he finally got that 201.9.
Yep, he's in the 201s. Leaders on the final lap now. 3 seconds between P1 and P2. 20 seconds between P2 and 3. Andrew Casey's fallen off substantially and is now in P4. I'm not in P4. He's 5 seconds off is what I was trying to say. I was reading the Spanish up there. I'm sorry. He's 5 seconds off of Devin. Nico Menendez has closed up the gap. We got a yellow flag with Casey Swanseeger. He's alone for this, too. Wasn't around anybody.
As tire's still pretty hot as he's still sliding around trying to get around that corner.
Yep. Mike Burkhoff, after his pit stop, has kind of fallen off on time, too, and having some slow laps. This lap specifically, 1.3 seconds off his quickest. Chris Capps actually losing a position here, 5 seconds off of his, so... CW Wells putting some pressure on Mike Cortez on the last lap of the race. Okay, well, welcome. Welcome to the community, man. We're happy to have you. Any questions you need to ask in there. If you want to have a mentor look at stuff, go to the Noobs Academy and ask a mentor to look.
Yeah,
we'll be happy to do that.
Try and make this real quick before Tarley gets to the finish line here. I just joined. I didn't have a wheel. I joined in January, and I asked all the stupid questions. There's no stupid questions. Feel free to ask anybody anything.
Ooh, we got a yellow flag from Chappelle.
Oh,
really
no.
Yellow down to Wellington Straight. I think he's conserving fuel. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're good. Coming around the last corner for P1.
Yeah. Yep, Tarley is.
Wells able to get around Mike Cortez.
Seconds off. Two-Rai putting a massive freaking gain on Tarley in that last half. As they come across the start-finish line now.
Maybe a little
Tarley
pucker
moving
moment.
to the inside. waving his car. He's going to do the old car wave. Adam Two-Rye P2. Devin Anthony still 20 seconds back. Has a car 450 between him and the finish line. Car 450 is a back marker. CW Wells. Devin Anthony will be crossing the start-finish line soon. Nico Menendez, if he had one more lap, would be able to put enough pressure on Andrew to potentially get around him. You need to start looking at other drivers other than the guy in the pit.
Oh, the frames
Nico
are
Menendez
changing.
right on the tail of Andrew Casey. Crosses the finish line. I think Nico may have gotten that. I think he took it from Andrew. I think Andrew ran out of fuel in the last corner. Andrew in 5th place. Joe Allenson in 6th. Phil Dixon coming around the final corner now. Mike Cortez in chat saying I ran out of gas.
Oh, no.
You aren't the only one. This is what we get for not practicing. Phil Dixon across the line in 7th. Austin Gerber with Mike Burkhoff behind. Mike with some pressure on him, but doesn't have another lap to get it done. Austin will get P8. P9 will be Mike Burkhoff after his pit stop. That'll round out our top 10. With that said, if drivers want to partake in the post-race stuff, the interviews, feel free to jump in here. Two-Ride, Devin Anthony, Tarley, if you guys want to jump in, if you're here, I'll be happy to do an interview with you guys.
Interesting to see if anybody screenshots. I know Kanya's saying 1.7 on the rears for a few cars. Love to see a screenshot of the tire wear if people catch it before the server ends.
Well, with all of that said, let's move over to our post-race screen. Adam Two-Rye will be joining us in just a moment. That was a cue to you, Shane, to move over the post-race screen and put some music on.
The post-race screen is up and the music's playing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, duh. First of all, hello to everybody in the podiums. Car number 42. How do you say your name? Tarley?
Yeah, that's about right.
Tarley. Okay. How do you say your first name?
It's Aditya.
Aditya.
Some people say
Aditya Tarley.
Yeah. Hey, that's on point. Nice.
Okay. Thank you, sir. With that said, you led this pack for the entire race, but what were your thoughts? If there were 30 more minutes in this race, I mean, obviously that would screw your tires up, but what were your thoughts on Adam catching up behind you through the entire race?
Like, I think it was at the 20-minute mark that the gap was about 10 seconds, and I said, okay, I should stop rehearsing for the, my speech for the win. But as the time ticked down, he started inching closer, and I think by the end he was like 2 seconds away from me, and he was lapping faster than my fastest lap. So I'm sweating because of that right now. But yeah, going for the pole was definitely a gamble, but from my experience, I know that the tires can last up to 90 minutes. So I thought it was going to be worth it.
So we may see a change in, and this is something we were talking about is, are we going to see a change in next week's race with qualifying? You just said that they can last up to 90 minutes, so we may see people put down faster laps during qualifying, but those that wore their tires out early on, we may see them only do the 1 lap qualifying. So we did see a bunch of people do. I mean, you did what, 2 or 3 laps, right?
I did 3 laps, but I never went like full out. In fact, I was constantly under the limit, and the only reason I was getting faster was because I was tweaking the setup after each lap.
Yeah. And then, of course, we saw somebody do 4 laps, and it's just 15 minutes on top of that 60 minutes is wild and something you don't normally see. So, otherwise, what were your thoughts on going into Silverstone first race on a hot day?
Honestly, I flew in from Seattle back home to Texas yesterday at 6 a.m., so I didn't have a lot of time to prepare. I think I started creating the setup at like 8 p.m. yesterday, so when Silverstone came up during the drivers' briefing, I was very happy because it's a track that I have some experience at. So I didn't have to think too much about it. And thankfully it all worked out and it's a satisfying win.
All right, last question for you is what's your favorite racetrack in ACC?
It has to be between Spa and Laguna Seca. I would say
Okay.
Spa just because I race on it more often.
All right, well, those are still up for grabs, so we'll see if we get one of those next week. Let's move on to our P2 driver, Adam Turai. Hello, Adam.
Hello.
How was your race? I mean, you were alone for quite a while, but you were gaining ground on Tarley the last bit. So did you think maybe you were going to be able to get him in the last 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, I mean, I was really hoping that I'd get him. The start, I was slow. Before this race, I had basically 0 minutes of practice in this car, and it's been months since I've driven this track. So the first, I'd say half was me kind of getting grounds on the track, kind of remembering, trying different things out. And then at the end there, that's when I really could start pushing, and I was getting a hang of the car.
Yeah, you did your fastest lap in that last 20 minutes or so, too. The only driver to be below a 201, or below a 202 flat. So you were definitely the quickest. So.
Yeah, it's just too many little mistakes. The car, a lot of the time going into, especially the hairpins, the rear just likes to spin out. I'm basically drifting through the corner, and it's just trying to avert that and being much more careful on the steering and the braking, so that doesn't happen. But overall, I think it's just a slow start caused a lot of catch up, and there was just too much catch up.
So if you could pick one track for next week, what would you pick?
Barcelona in the rain. Barcelona is my favorite track, and rain's more fun.
If it rains, we got to plan on live weather too. So, but Barcelona for next week is what you'd like. Spa and Laguna for Tarley. Let's move on to Devin Anthony. Hello, Devin.
Hello.
Devin, P3,
Yes.
and you had Andrew behind you for nearly the entire, I would say 45 minutes of the race, and he was gaining here and there. You were making some mistakes. He was making mistakes. Was there ever a moment in your mind where you're like, maybe he's gonna catch me?
Yes. But he started just not necessarily getting upset, but just not doing as good. Yeah.
The tires were screwing with him.
Yes. We looked at the tire wear too. He was doing like 1.7.
Wow.
Or, the wear was. Mine fronts were 2.
Oh wow.
So I wasn't really doing all that much wear, I guess.
So when you came into this series, did you build any sort of pre-setup or anything like that, or did you just kind of come into it and say, this is how it's going to be?
I came in with it with a default aggressive
Nice.
that I messed with 30 minutes before the race.
Well, good. You did it. Devin, next week, what track would you like to see?
I like Spa too. I would say Spa.
Spa? Okay. The only thing you're not going to see is Nordschleife.
Yeah,
But we got. Yeah, no, we're not going to see that. With that said, you're also not going to see Silverstone next week. With that said, we have no idea what next week's going to bring. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen next week. The Enduro Series starts this Saturday, so that's going to be awesome. And yeah, Shane, do you have anything else for the stream?
No, shout out to the drivers.
What did you mute for, Shane? Unmute.
Hello.
Hurry,
Hello.
Shane.
Hello. Shout out to the drivers for the disadvantage. It was awesome to cast. It was awesome to watch. It was awesome to listen to. Shout out to the podium drivers. Shout out to everybody who showed up. Hope to see more people next week for wherever we end up.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Shane, I'm going to hand it off to you for the rest of the stream. Close us out. And it was nice chilling with you in the booth tonight. Thank you, podium drivers. Thank you for joining us in the booth. You guys have a wonderful night.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys. This has been Noobs R Us Disadvantage Series Race 1. Check in next week for Race 2. Same place, same time. Y'all have a good one. Love, bye.